Florence. But the connection between Galileo and Artemisia that we can find in the 1620 Judith is so cool. So, for context, one of the last things that Galileo ever published in his life, towards the end of his life, was Two New Sciences. And in Two New Sciences, he published his discovery of parabolic law, which is something that he actually discovered and had been writing about before Artemisia even moved to Florence. He just never really went public with it. But we know that he did share his thoughts and his discovery with friends, colleagues, students, people in his inner circle, probably people at the academy. Here, for example, we have illustrations by Galileo from 1609 where he's studying the motion of projectiles and discovering this parabolic law. Okay, now this part is important. So basically, before this, we believe that a projectile in motion forms a straight line, like a cannonball, for example. It forms a straight line from the point which it is accelerating, and then as it loses momentum, it forms a tiny little arc and just falls, to its descent. What Galileo is actually showing us in these illustrations is that a projectile forms a continuous curved path. So horizontal velocity is constant, and vertical velocity is constantly changed by gravity. So when Artemisia's depiction of the famous scene went from this to this, it is most certainly not by coincidence. We can see the influence clear as day when we compare Artemisia's Uffizi Judith from 1620, specifically the blood spurts coming from Holofernes' neck, and Galileo's studies of projectile motion from about 10 years earlier. Isn't that so nice? Now there's one more really cool trace of Galileo in another Judith painting by Artemisia, but I don't have time to talk about it in this video, so we'll do that in the next one. Thanks for listening.